Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now the last videos have all been kind of funny. This one's funny too in a different way, right? We know that Jerron Boots Ennis, dominated Eimantas Stanionis over the weekend, right? Well, I kind of thought it was going to happen this way in terms of if Boots Ennis wins, then the only thing that can happen, especially in the American media, would be Stanionis is nothing. Now, let's go from months ago. From months ago when, Boots Ennis fought Karen Chadhukisen, what his name is, but Karen, right? First of all, y'all know what time it is. Karen is Ukrainian. Ukraine being the pain. Your boy Boots Ennis beat him the first time, right? And then comes back and have another close fight with the guy. He's Ukrainian. Every day ain't easy to beat no Ukrainians. Okay, let's just make sure. So, but he wins the fight. But because it was close, right? Not an extreme dominant, performance. Boots Ennis is overhyped. He's a hype job. He's overhyped and all of this stuff. Now you gotta imagine, just 6 months prior to that, Boots Ennis was everything because he was the one that Terrence Crawford was supposed to be scared of. I'm just to show you that the man can't win for losing. You know what I'm saying? And even nobody can win for losing. Terrence Crawford's going up to 154, but he's scared of Boots Ennis because Boots Ennis is super talented. But he has a close fight with Karen, right? Then he's overhyped, right? Then, okay, he wants to stay down in the welterweight division, and he wants to, become undisputed. But first, he wants to fight and win a championship in the ring because the IBF was given to him, right? Because they just stripped Terrence Crawford. He was leaving anyway. So he wants to win one, because, you get called email champ in a heartbeat, and let me tell you, Devin Haney was called the email champ, even though Lomachenko went somewhere else, right? That's how they'll do it. Now, David Benavidez is not being called one, though, right now, which is kind of weird. But I'm just saying, you get called email champ if you don't fight for that title. So, at the end of the day, he wanted to fight for one, and he wants to become undisputed before moving to the next division, right? And me personally, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? You've been here your whole life, and you're in a welterweight division. You don't want to just leave and start going and fight somewhere in the next division and left no legacy in the division that you started at, right? That's why I'm so upset at the WBA and the WBC and the 168-pound division for not letting David Morrell fight for a title. He was just a regular champion, and Canelo had the thing 2.5 years, and they never forced him to fight him. Dave Benavidez was the champion, and it got stripped, and then couldn't never get a Canelo fight to solidify itself as a WBC champion. And then their fight would have been for undisputed, Morales and Benavidez. But because Canelo wouldn't fight either one of them, they left the 168-pound with no legacy there and spending years there. I don't think that's fair to cater to one person. And, so their careers, might mess up some of the Hall of Fame consideration later, because they weren't real champions in that division. So I'm feeling Boots for just saying, I'm going to stay down here while I still can because they ain't going to be long. Bill's 27, he's got to go to 154 soon. He wants to do something. So at that point, it was like, well, you ain't going to fight Stanionis. Stanionis is second best, what they were saying, second best welterweight. So he goes from second best welterweight to being dominated by Jerron Boots Ennis, and now he's not that good anymore, right? Well, let me tell you something. Is Mario Barrios gonna beat the WB? What is Barrios? Barrios is the WBC champ, if I'm not mistaken, or is he the WBO champ? Well, no, the WBO is Brian Nelson. Brian Nelson or Barrios, are they going to beat Stanionis like that? Or, a matter of fact, Barrios, is he going to beat Stanionis, period? You know what I'm saying? We're going to act like, first of all, take Boots out of that picture and just watch Stanionis the whole fight. Just try to ignore Boots Ennis and watch Stanionis, even in a fight where he was losing like that, and tell me you didn't see some stuff. Some fast hands, some quick left hooks, some high guard, Bob Weaver coming up over with the overhand right, act like you didn't see some stuff. Right now, he could have went on further actually, and got beat up some more, right? And hurt more, maybe try to go for a lucky punch. But I think his trainer and them just stopped it quick. He didn't get beat up bad. Stopped it before something happens. People paying money don't really appreciate that. But at the end of the day, somebody else push up on Stanionis. Let's see what happens. Let's see somebody else go up there and do that like that. Stanionis is a damn good fighter, and you can see it if you're paying attention, right? So at the end of the day, Boots Ennis is all that, right? And there's been other people in the pound-for-pound list that were only in one division. There's been other people in the pound-for-pound list that don't have any separations in their fights, right? Any separations. Now, what I'm hearing now is Boots Ennis, well, he's supposed to look good against Stanionis. Putting his, you see how I said Stanionis? Watch this. Stanionis. Like Stanionis. When you go up on somebody's name like that, then it's like you're supposed to be with Stanionis. That's disrespectful. You don't go up high on somebody's name like that. Damn it, Stanionis. Bad dude. WBA champ, right? Undefeated. Stanionis. Not against Stanionis, right? That's how we doing Stanionis. That's how we doing him right now. Like everybody gonna beat him. No, Boots did a good job on him. But if Boots is overhyped, this is how people do. In one video, and y'all just pay attention, don't cut it off. Boots Ennis is overhyped, but he's supposed to beat the hell out of this guy here, the other champion, Stanionis. Right? Boots Ennis is so overhyped, man. But he's supposed to beat the hell out of Stanionis. That's how we doing him. Makes no damn sense. If Boots is supposed to beat Stanionis, then he's awesome. Because everybody's not supposed to beat Stanionis. You understand? Or Karen, for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop degrading obviously awesome fighters. Oh, Boots get hit. Terrence Crawford, to quote him, it's a fight. You're going to get hit. You know what I'm saying? It's a fight. And if he don't get hit, people going to hate him more than that anyway. Especially, we ain't going to get into that. But some people that's coming to see BTBG love when he get hit. The crowd stayed engaged because he got hit every now and then. So what do we want? We want him to never get hit? This ain't Pernell Whitaker. Whitaker or somebody like that. Floyd, them boys, they don't never get hit or very get hit. They got to do a video, the 5 times Floyd Mayweather got rocked. Like you had a whole 25-year career, and then they don't like you. So he gets hit every now and then. Well, damn it, it's a fight. But I'm distancing myself from my opponent. I am obviously awesome, right? Obviously. I have a body attack. I have a head attack. I have a jab. I have athleticism. I have reflexes. I'm athletic as hell. I'm going to say it again. Get out my face. The dude is obviously awesome because if he wasn't, y'all wouldn't say he should be able to handle, what is his name? Stanionis. You know what I'm saying? So, let's leave the dude alone, man. The dude is bad. And let me tell y'all something else about to happen. Barrios, the media is going to keep him away from him. They're not going to let him become undisputed, unfortunately. He's not going to become undisputed. Brian Nelson ain't fighting him neither. I doubt that very seriously and all that. So it's going to be all kind of shenanigans. There's going to be a whole bunch of shenanigans, right? I've seen it happen before, like, with Virgil Ortiz and stuff like that. It's going to be some shenanigans. Barrios is trying to fight Pacquiao, and Errol Spence coming back. But I'm going to do a video about that. Errol Spence better not come back at 147 pounds. If he do, then I got a couple of things to say about that. But we'll do that in another video. Bottom line is this. Stanionis is a good fighter. It's just Boots is awesome. Let's move on. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.